Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show. That being said, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be here with you guys on my birthday. Today is number 56, and I am feeling amazing. Glad to be here with you guys tonight. We don't have anything particularly laid out tonight other than some great people coming by to wish me a happy birthday, to just hang out. If you want to make a comment, please go to YouTube, The Real Chat Daddy Show. Make a comment there, or the Art Chat Daddy Sims page, or the Real Chat Daddy page. We'll read comments all evening long. We will. So glad that you guys are here tonight. Sitting in the co-host seat, we have several people who will be joining us. But right now is one of our favorites, Miss K. Renee of Karen's Nuggets of Knowledge. What's happening, my dear? How are you?
Can I sing now? Can
Yes,
I sing it to
darling.
you?
Yes.
Alrighty. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, Chat Daddy. Happy birthday, Chat Daddy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Yay. Thank you. I love you so much. Thank you.
I love you too,
sweetie. Thank you, everybody. Oh, this is so cool. This is so wonderful. This is wonderful. It really is. I appreciate you guys so much. My radio brother, Mr. Chris Bass, was supposed to join us, but he's having some type of technical issues. But my other brother, Mr. Chris Avent, will be joining us at 7:30, and we're going to have a conversation about being a Black man in today's society. And so, Kay Renee, it's been a busy day, a productive day. I'm overjoyed. I've had a couple of surprises today. I woke up in my right mind. I was told that I could not get out of bed before 9 o'clock today. So I had to keep that in. I had to keep that in practice, that I could not get out of the bed before 9 o'clock. I stayed in bed as long as I could. I had a wonderful surprise luncheon today. I have a new friend, and my new friend, it's amazing how, when I was sick and in the hospital, my new friend was there for me by my side, and he had a couple of key phone numbers. And so he took those numbers and turned that into a birthday surprise luncheon today. So that was really sweet. Yes, it was. So I'm overjoyed. I'm tired. I really could just go to sleep and catch up on all of my Z's. I guess turning 56 make you want to have to nap several times a day.
I feel you. I definitely feel you, but that's okay. It's all this love. This is a good thing. But see, we will show this love year round. It's not just today, even though God decided on this day that you come into this world 56 years ago. But we love you each and every day, Art. Just know that.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I got a balloon bouquet behind me.
I see.
And, yes, that was a part of my gifts. I got Hennessy, which is my favorite. I got a spa treatment, manicure, pedicure yesterday. I got money. I got, let me see, just a whole lot of things. Oh, a beautiful bath set from you, which I love, the bath salts and the bath body work. So all of that is just great. I appreciate everybody. I really do. This has just been so overwhelming, like you just would not believe. So, Kay Renee, you have the task of interviewing me tonight. So
yes, I do. But before we do that, let's talk about who shares your birthday besides you. We got Miss Lisa Bonet, Miss Egypt Sherrod of HGTV. She's just doing her thing with her and her hubby in Hotlanta. And Chicago's own Harry Lennox.
Really?
shares your birthday.
I
Yes.
did not know that I shared a birthday with Harry Lennox. That is
The
really cool.
blacklist. Yeah,
Yes,
five
Anthony Harry
heartbeats.
Lennox,
Yes.
Lisa Bonet. I always, huh?
No, he's a sweetheart too. Harry is a sweetheart.
Right. Lisa Bonet, I knew, that we shared the same birthday, so that wasn't an issue or a problem. Because
Mhm.
she and I are a lot alike. Lisa Bonet is so smart and witty to me. Get rid of one fine husband and get another fine husband and make the fine husbands become friends.
How about that?
Yeah, yeah. That part I really understand. So that's interesting. But yeah, no, I didn't know that about Harry Lennox. I really
Mhm.
appreciate him.
Absolutely. And then,
Yeah.
as I said, Egypt Sherrod. I didn't know her
Yeah.
birthday was today either. I said, go ahead. You just have,
Wow.
and here's some interesting news, significant news that happened on your birthday. Let's just go back
Okay.
here
All
because
right,
I got
baby.
a
You
few.
handling this. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
That's why you love me. See, I
Yeah.
come prepared.
Amen.
Let's see. Let's
Amen.
see what happened in. Oh, interesting. Happened in 1959. What
Let
happened
me
in
see.
1959 on your birthday?
1959. I was nowhere to be.
I know
I hadn't
that.
even. Yeah, I wasn't even. I ain't even gonna say what I. Yeah,
Well,
1959. Even though I'm old, and even though I remember some things. 1959. I was not even a glimmer yet. What happened on my birthday in 1959?
the last Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, The Sound of Music, opened at the Lunt-Fontanne Theater on Broadway. Shortly after The Sound of Music opened, unfortunately, Oscar Hammerstein, who was a well-known composer, he died from cancer. But then The Sound of Music was made into an Academy Award-winning movie starring Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer. So that happened in 1959. Now, and then check this out. We're gonna go further back. In 1923,
Wow.
November 16th, 1923, there was a savings increase. Check it out. A
Really?
brief a brief summary of statistics found regarding saving money was printed. According to one news source, Americans were saving approximately double the amount of money they were within the previous 10 years. So savings was a thing in 1923. That's before crash 6 years later, but we won't go into that.
Yeah. Shout out to Tamlin Williams. Tamlin, I just love and adore you. She sent me a beautiful gift today, and I really appreciate
Oh,
you so very much for that. Uncalled for, but I'm just so grateful and thank you so very much. I love you. Yes. All right. Wait, so people were saving more money back in 1923?
yes.
And we're
Yes.
looking at inflation now. We're looking at a shortage of things. And we're looking at, so I'm wondering, is that a result of the pandemic? That was, no, because that was, what was that?
Well, no, that was in 1918, so that's 5 years later. I mean, later approximately, but it was 6 years before the crash. So
Right,
go
right,
figure.
right.
Go
Okay. What
figure.
else
And then
happened
we're
on this?
gonna well, let's see. Going forward, see a lot of historical things. Like, for instance, in 1965, on November 16th, the Soviet Union launched their Venera 3 space probe from Kazakhstan. The mission was to land on the surface of the planet Venus, but it was successful when Venera 3 crash landed on Venus on March 1st, 1966, becoming the first spacecraft to land on another planet's surface. So they initially started on your birthday in 1965, but they end up landing in 1966 in Venus. Didn't know that, but okay.
Wow. Well, now here's the deal. I remember that day. I remember it just like I remember my own name. It was
Okay.
November 16th, 1965. And I was just out my mother's womb, doing what I love to do now, watching the news. And I remember Walter Cronkite saying, the Russians have done something, and I couldn't quite understand because I was only hours old, maybe seconds,
Right.
minutes in.
Right.
But I
Right.
remember that's what made me go into media. You
The
see what I'm saying?
news. There
So
you
yes,
go. There you
that's what made me go into the news, because I was like, wait a minute. I was born and this is happening over in Russia, and something is breaking in the news. So guess what? I'm here to understand it. So yes, thank you for that. Yes,
and
amen.
then and then moving forward in 1985 on your birthday in Germany, they had a stop smoking campaign. So this
Really?
day on your birthday was set aside for an international smokeout similar to that of the Great American Smokeout.
Mm,
Germany actively participated in this campaign. They were urged to hide their cigarettes, get rid of their lighters, get rid of their ashtrays, or whatever else seemed necessary to successfully observe this day. So interesting enough, and I know it's a lot about Europeans. They love to smoke.
yes,
They
yes.
love to smoke. They can smoke some. So
Right.
this was a
Well,
good thing in 1985.
yes. 1985, you said?
1985 on November 16th, your birthday. And
Okay.
then 5 years later, there was a Middle East peace campaign. A daily anti military campaign was being launched in the Middle East. A peace activist organization was working to persuade the Pat Barracks commuters that the action occurring in the Persian Gulf was not right. So there's just a lot of historical things happening your birthday.
Well, in 2021, the Great American Smokeout would be something else nowadays. It would be
Oh,
the
heck
Great
yeah.
American. It would be the Great American Weed Smokeout. So yes. So all right, very good. Right. That's what it would be nowadays if we had to really look at what that meant in this day and age. Okay, very good. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I have to get some history. I love find out who was born and what happened on a person's special birthday. But the best birthday is the fact that you came here on
Yes,
11/16.
I
Now,
appreciate you so
I guess
much.
I guess I have to ask you a question. Do you know what time you were born?
10:56 p.m.
Really?
Yes,
Okay. See, that's why
10:56.
we're definitely now we're night owls because I was born at 11:14 p.m. and that's some significance, Art, because interestingly enough, my ex-husband was born on 11/14.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? November 14th at the time you were born.
That's correct.
But look at how coincidental that is, and how, just
That's not a coincidence. I don't. That's God's way of being anonymous.
that's funny. That is hilarious that your ex-husband would be born on the day, but it would be the time that you were born.
That came in this world. Yep.
And was he born at AM or PM?
I don't know when he was born on 11/14, but I came in at night
Yes,
on
I
my
came in at
birthday.
night too. Let me ask you this.
So
Are
we're
you more of a day person or more of a night person?
that's interesting. When I was younger, I was a night person. As I've gotten older, I'm a day person. But when I was younger, yeah, I like to be up at night. In fact, my first when I was in college, my first year, I worked at the Federal Reserve Bank, and we did the graveyard shift, and that just messed up my total sleep patterns many years ago. So I'm more now of a day person because now when I go to sleep, I wake up in the early parts of the morning. And so I
Yeah.
like to get my sleep. But yeah, when I was younger, I was a night person. I could go out and do a thing. I can't do that as much now. I need my
Yes,
rest.
Scorpio love says, I'm both. I am both, but more night though. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I
So
am
now
more.
I'm more in the day.
For years and years and years, I was a night person.
Hmm.
Loved the night. Of course, my job was entertainment, nightlife,
Exactly.
anything, clubs, all of that. Now I'm pushing it. If I stay up to midnight, last night I was up to 1 o'clock this morning.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
yeah, I was up to one, but I think age and things like that are now pushing me to get up earlier, i.e., bladder. i.e. neighbors upstairs that are noisy, getting up because they getting up,
Oh,
things like that. But
goodness.
I used to be a night person. And then you have to realize in my relationship, two different generations.
Yes.
But I'm
Yes.
thankful that my friend is able to follow into my pattern. We're able to follow into each other's pattern. So it makes
Excellent.
good sense. Yes, absolutely. So
Excellent. So let
yes.
me ask you this. Now that you're reaching another rotation around the
Uh-huh.
sun, what is your bucket list to do? Because see, I look at everyone's birthday as their new year, their January 1st. So today, this is your January 1st. What would
Right.
you like to do? What will be on your bucket list for this year in
That you
2022?
know what? That's interesting that you would even ask that of me. The funniest thing is that today during the lunch, I kind of was prophesizing a little bit and talking
Mm-hmm.
about my life as it would be now. If you had asked me this 4 or 5 months ago, I probably would not have been able to tell you anything because I felt clueless. The one thing that I want everybody to know is that the pandemic took a tremendous toll on me. It took a
Yes.
toll on me to lose what I considered a national platform because of my health and because of something that
Mm-hmm.
I had no control over. I didn't, do anything to lose that national platform.
Right.
Thank God for Javon DeLynn Dunnigan, who told me to get online and interact with my
Mm-hmm.
people. Of course, I don't have the same audience as I had, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about keeping my legacy and my work going and moving. It's only been recently that I've had some excitement, some fun, somebody to bounce some things off of other than close friends. And I think it has made a tremendous difference. So now, what do I see myself doing a year from now? Probably moving into a different realm of my life. Not necessarily sure. I still want to open a cafe. I don't know how much more I want to stay in media. I love media and think it's great, but I want to venture out and do something different. And I think I am now afforded the opportunity to be able to do that, whatever is different. And so that's, what I want to do. So, yes.
That's good to hear. That's good to
Yeah.
hear. And I said this to you early on when you invited me initially as a guest co-host. I'm gonna say this to you again. Our spiritual mom, the Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman, always said, "Your life may be the only Bible that someone else reads." I am
Right.
truly
Yes.
hoping, Art, that you will put that in words where people can read and what hopefully you will be able to recite in audible form because
Right.
truly you
Yes.
have a story. And so I'm hoping you will have this time within the next whatever God has for you to put a book in place. It's something
Right.
about I can tell you that I never would have thought I would have been an author, especially at the content that I wrote about, of which a lot of people don't know this. That Art what wrote the foreword to my book, so I always thank him for that. But it really opened the door for me to write, and I just enjoy that. So I'm hoping that you'll get a chance to put your wonderful life and legacy into words.
Yes, I that's what I want to do more than anything. I have had what I consider probably one of the most unconventional careers ever in journalism. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
to be in the number 3 market in the country, to have touched radio, television, and newspaper in the number 3 market, never
Mm-hmm.
went to school for any of this. I've learned that there's a lot of hate, deception, and deceit in this business. I've
Mm-hmm.
learned that there are a lot of beautiful and really kind people in this business. But I've also learned that this business is only as good as when the mic is on and when the mic is off. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what has made this so interesting. And it took a pandemic to make me as well as other people realize you can take the control in your own hands and create whatever it is that you want to create. And that's, how I am moving forward. But yes, a book, it is long overdue. I had talked to my good friend Mary Datcher about me writing a book. I started it, but I also wanted the book to have a beautiful ending, if that would make sense. I wanted the book to talk about how I walked into the sunset doing something different, being with somebody different, and moving forward. And I think that part of my life now is serving itself. And I'm hoping it works, that it does continue to serve itself.
I think it will. I think it will. So, and you love to travel. What would be your ideal places to travel as you celebrate? This is your January 1st. What would you like? Where would you like to go that you have not been before?
Well, my beloved sister friend, Miss Heidi Barker, who is down in South Florida, I love going down there to see her. My other good friends, I have several good friends in South Florida. Hello, everybody that's watching in South Florida tonight. That would be someplace that I told you I'm trying to transition to more often. Everybody keeps saying to me, "Oh my God, hurricanes, hurricanes! The hell with it!" I look, snow, cold, carjackings, crime, just all of that. It is such a huge problem here in Chicago. So I at least want to do the South Florida thing. Speak of the devil, now she must have heard me talk her up, because that is too funny. You just asked me where would I want to be, and I said with my sister friend, and guess who just popped up in the green room? Interesting.
Well, look at that. Look at
honey,
that.
we'll bring her. Look, this whole day been a day of look at that. Look at that. So, I don't know. I want to get my travel series started again. I started that in Hawaii, but with the COVID numbers on the increase again, with the number of incidents on airlines, with the fights and things like that, I just said, let me step back. I was going to do a group trip to South Florida in February for Valentine's weekend. But then I don't want to have to fight with people about who's vaccinated, who's not vaccinated.
Right.
So I don't know. Let me bring in my sister friend who I just love and adore her. She is in South Florida. She's looking absolutely fabulous. And she wanted to pop in and say hey to us. She's also been a co-host on radio with me. She's been here with us before. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my good friend, Miss Heidi Barker. Yay!
Hey, how are you? Happy birthday to she already sang the song. She's
that's all right.
that song.
That's all right, baby. Look, we love multiple singings of the song.
Listen, I just wanted to drop in and send you some Florida sunshine and just tell you how much I love you. You know how much I love you from the bottom of my heart. I feel this birthday for you, Art. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Can you guys still hear me? I see
we can.
Yes, we can hear you fine, Heidi.
You can still hear me. Okay. But yes. I'm saying I really do feel. Hey, I was just saying I'll keep it real short, but I'm just feeling this birthday for you. It has been a time, it has been a year, and God has kept you. And so we can, sip our champagne and have fun and do all of that. But I just want to keep it real and say that you are blessed. You are touched by the Most High. He is keeping you. He has you cradled. And I'm with you every step of the way. And please come down to Florida. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. Come on.
Listen, sis. Me and you have so much that we need to catch up on since our last tete of catching up. So we got to get in each other's ears soon. But I will be down there to visit. I promise you that, because I miss Southern Florida. And by the way, you're looking extremely well these days. You look amazing. Can you hear us? Did we lose her?
Heidi, can you hear us?
Oh my goodness. Well, you broke up a little bit, but I'm going to take that as a compliment. I didn't hear everything that you said. Uh-oh. I can hear you if you can hear me. It seems like it's breaking up a little bit.
We can
We
hear
can
you.
hear
I
you.
just said you look amazing these days. Are you okay down there?
I am more than okay. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I hope that you can see me and hear me. I don't know what's going on with the internet. It's been fine all day. I've been working all day, just fine. I try to have some fun and then the internet like goes down. What's that about?
That's all right. We understand.
You know?
Yes. All right.
Well,
Well, we
listen,
will.
both of you look amazing. Both of you look great.
Thank
I'm
you.
not going to keep you. I just want to send some love. Okay?
All right. We love you.
Talk
Bye,
Have a
Miss
good
soon.
night. We'll talk
Heidi.
soon.
Okay.
Thank you. See you later. Oh, that was
Bye.
amazing.
So
Yay.
sweet.
Yes, it
Yay.
was. Yes, it was. Oh, I appreciate you. That was wonderful. My beautiful sister, Miss Heidi. I just got through talking to her. Yep, I just got through saying that. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, Kay Renee, what else you got for me, my love?
Well, let's see. Um, of all the roles that you have played up to this point, what has been your most favorite? And if you had the opportunity to do something truly different, what would it be?
My own television talk show, hands down. TV. I
Okay.
love TV more than anything. I think TV is the most generous form of media when it comes to, um, receiving satisfaction from viewers, audiences, people. Radio was a great experience because you could just throw on anything, do it, have a great time. Newspaper was great, but that's a dying breed. But if I had to do any form of media again and do it consistently, would be television. I look at someone like Tamron Hall and how she started off on news with us. Now she's doing a daily national show that's syndicated. That to me is the highest level of respect, when there's a show and it has your name attached to it and you're there to provide people information every day. So that would be the one thing that I would want to do in this realm. Now, I did have a chance to be in my first film, thanks to Devorah Crable. It was just a short film. Mr.
Yes.
Chris Bass was a part of that film, but I think I could really do that as I would love to be an actor. So that may be my next step of what I'd like to go into.
All righty. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the big screen.
Salute, salute, salute. Yes.
Salute,
I'm enjoying
salute.
your questions. All right. What else you got in that bag of questions?
Um, let's talk about relationships.
Okay.
And do you see yourself married? Or do you
Yeah.
see yourself, in a long-term relationship, but do you see yourself married?
Absolutely. I do see myself married. That actually came up at lunch today. And I do. I absolutely do see myself as married. I see myself with one particular person that understands me, the highs, the lows, the ins, the outs, all of that. And so, yes, am I in any particular hurry to get married right now? I am not. But I do see it as something that in the future, yes, I think it would be a great added advantage to my overall health and well-being.
And, in as regards, we're going to talk about health. You mentioned, and all of us, we've gone through a lot with COVID, but you in particular, um, with your health challenge, what advice would you give, now you're older and definitely you're wiser. What advice would you give your viewers going forward as we are continuing to celebrate everyone's respective birthdays? What advice would you give?
Take care of your health. COVID has taught me a lot about life is so fleeting. Just think about this. In 2019, on this very day, we had heard rumors about COVID. We hadn't thought much about COVID. And let's look at how many people have perished from something that we had no idea about. Let's look at how much our world has changed economically, just the whole construct of what we were used to of a world being. And so I would tell people, take care of your health, whether you're vaccinated, not vaccinated, diabetes, stroke, HIV, whatever the case may be. Do a better job of taking care of your health. And I'm sure when we talk to Chris in just a little bit, he would agree as well too. Chris had a beautiful birthday celebration this summer. I met a gentleman at the birthday celebration who was a huge fan of mine, had never met me. And just weeks later to get the notice that this man has died really took a toll on me. And I really didn't even know the man other than meeting him that day and his adoration for me, and didn't even believe it was me. And then when he did, he just loved sitting there talking to me. Really a great guy. So if nothing else, I would tell people to protect your health, do what you can to make sure your health is where it needs to be. And let's get these young people to take better care of themselves as well too.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, because this is no joke. You know, we joke a little bit about when we're going not wearing masks, but on a serious tip, if you don't take God gives us this temple, as Tony mentioned last night. This is our temple that God gave us. It is up to us to maintain and preserve this temple, and it's up to you. You have the choice. You want to, wreck it, or you want to manage it better. So I just couldn't agree with you more. And
Yes.
we're going to talk about food, because, you're just a fabulous cook. So tell me, what is it that you would like to have? Or what did you get your favorite treats today? And what is your favorite treat to have?
Okay. Well, as we all know, I get up every day and I have coffee. So that was a no-brainer. I was asked today, do you want me to go get you some Starbucks? No, I have my coffee at home. I'm good. I had sushi and Asian fare for lunch today. I'm a huge fan of Hennessy and champagne.
Yeah.
So I've had that, other than that, no, there's nothing I can need or want food-wise. I have a lot of celebrations planned this week. So, I'm sure I'll eat a mixture of things as the week goes by, but there's nothing in particular that I'm, necessarily like, ooh, no, I'm just not that person. No.
Okay.
Very good.
And
No,
go ahead. No, go ahead, sweetie.
I was going to say, let's bring in your fellow dolphin, my brother from another mother, a man who I have great respect for. I appreciate him. I told somebody it must be something in the name Christopher, because I have good friends named Christopher. I have a brother named Christopher, a friend named Christopher. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, our good friend, Mr. Christopher C. Avent. Yay! What up, player?
Yay.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello, Chris. Hello, Dolphin.
Hey, lady, how you doing?
I'm good, sweet. How you doing?
I am groovy.
Chris, do you have the magic cup? Oh, Lord, what's in your magic cup, Chris? Chris, what's in your magic cup? Lord.
What are the kids called? I have a lot. I have a lot in my cup.
You got thought juice in your cup?
I have a lot in my cup. You see, it's full. It's full. I'm ready.
Really, it is.
I'm ready.
Yes.
You can see that.
Yeah. Right. And
I spell country KUNTREE.
Right.
With the mason jar. That's right. And it's
yes,
full.
sir. As a matter of fact, I made cocktails in the mason jar the other night, and they seem like they taste better. They really do.
And I was going to transfer it into a regular cup, and I'm like, this works just fine.
Yes, absolutely. I made cocktails the other night in a mason jar, took the lid, shook them real well, took the lid off, served them, and here's the deal. If you don't finish the cocktail, put that damn lid back on.
Screw it back on, put it right back in the fridge. Exactly.
That's right. Yes.
Exactly. It works.
Great minds think alike. Well, Chris, I'm so glad you can hang out with me on my birthday tonight. Whenever we get together, I always like the fact that we talk about just a lot of different things. I told Kay Renee tonight that you and I are two Black men that have run the gamut of, you name it, from relationships to life to just being Black men. And so between her, you, and me, I just wanted us to kind of have a conversation about being a Black man. I'm so happy that I turned 56 today, but it's been a struggle. And like I know, Black men, oftentimes we're at the short end of the stick. And so I'm appreciative that you're here tonight, brother.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I'm celebrating your birthday with you in one form or another.
Yes, and I appreciate celebrating yours. We were just talking about the gentleman who I met at your party, and he passed away. And
Bob.
Yeah. We were
Robert.
talking about just health issues. What has COVID taught you, Chris, about life?
What has it taught me about life? Wow, that's a good question. It's not necessarily. I'm not going to put it on COVID. I'm going to put it in the last 5 months. I've attended 4 funerals, and I'm not going to put it on COVID per se. Fortunately for me, I don't have a lot of people who passed from COVID or COVID-related symptoms. But I I lost 5 people in the last 4 months, which is just reminding me about living life. And I think you guys alluded to it earlier, putting a priority on health. My boy's mother is going through some physical challenges now at 81 years old because she didn't remain active, right? And it's like your muscles, what do they call it when you've been in a coma? The word escapes me.
Atrophy.
Yeah. When you don't use them, if you're just waking up and going through your routine, and you may go shopping or go to the grocery store, come home, you're not using your muscles. And she got to a point where when she falls, she doesn't have the strength to pick herself up. So now she has to move into an assisted living facility. And the doctor was explaining, had she stayed active and done something, right? Not necessarily weightlifting, but kept her muscles going, she wouldn't be in this situation. And some of the older gentlemen that I play golf with, they all talk about their friends. And these are guys 70 and older that say, all their friends that didn't put the bottle down, didn't put the cigarettes down, didn't remain active, they're all have either passed on or they're bedridden. And the ones who stayed active are still out there playing golf and doing other things. So I think it's something for all of us to learn before we get to our senior years, to remember to eat responsibly and remain active, because that is the secret. And even with that, there's still things like COVID, like a car accident, like cancer, that things can jump on you. So through this whole ordeal, I think it's truly a reminder to live life. And you want to live a long life, but you want to live it in a state where you can actually enjoy it. So be healthy, get out, move around, and enjoy your time, because anything can happen tomorrow.
I agree with you 100%. I was just saying to someone, just even Kay Renee was talking about my dating earlier, and I said, boy, if I get with somebody my age, they're going to be a little bit more sedentary. They're going to be a little bit more, let's eat and, whatever. Now, with me being with somebody younger, that energy, that let's go, let's move, let's walk, I want to be in that situation of, you make me do stuff, make me do it. The pain and things that I go through as a result of my health issues, that's one thing, but the pain can be managed. It can be, to a whole different level. So you're right about that. As they said,
I bet you're doing things you would have said that you didn't have the energy to do prior to this.
Yes, I never imagined I would reach up and grab a ceiling fan in the middle of the night. I never.
and hold on while it's moving. And hold on the whole time.
Why it's moving? Right, and it's still in the ceiling. Right.
There you go.
Yes. Kay Renee, you have 2 amazing Black men here to talk to. What do you want to know from us as a Black woman?
The thing that for me is, well, one, I have 2 strong Black men in my presence, and that's a good thing. It's challenging not to find that. Do you see us again? I'm gonna ask you Chris, do you see yourself getting married?
I believe the institution of marriage is a good thing. If you have, I think it's like anything else. It's good if you have the right people involved, right? And everybody's on the same page and everybody wants the same things. I think too many people get married for the wrong reasons. But I believe the institution is good. And should I find somebody where we can, make it work? Yes, absolutely.
Yep. I think that's a good thing. Did he answer that for you, Kay Renee?
Yeah, did I?
He did. He
Okay.
did. Because, it's interesting. We're in this different season. I don't know if you were
Cuffing
married.
Season? Are we in cuffing season now?
We're in cuffing season. We are in cuffing season. Yes.
I'm sorry, Kay, what were you
season,
saying?
I like to call it. But no, I don't know if you were ever married. I'm a happily divorcee.
No, I was never married.
Okay. So for me, if anyone asked that question, do I see myself married? I honestly cannot say no. Would I get married again? It really would depend. It depends upon that individual. Because marriage, as I will say to anyone, requires work. It is not something you need to take for granted. And I think, hopefully in this season, a lot of us were a lot older, that, in our next relationship, that you don't take people for granted, because as you eloquently stated, life is fleeting. And if you don't have that mutual respect, and you gotta like the person, I don't like you. We're not gonna be able to communicate and be consistent with one another. And I think from a female, I can tell you the reason why I haven't dated in a while, that I really don't date, because at the times men are not consistent. I like consistency. And when a person is not consistent with me, we're gonna have a problem.
Well, I think it's impossible to be even in a friendship with someone who's inconsistent, right? Because you get somebody who cares on Monday and who doesn't care on Tuesday. I don't think that would sustain a friendship, let alone a romantic situation.
Yeah.
Interesting. Kay Renee, let me ask you this. Even, you always say you're a happy and proud divorcee, or, do you ever think back on when you were married, like how things maybe could have been handled differently? Like, my biggest fear is to get into a marriage with somebody and maybe, I don't know, maybe counseling might be needed before the marriage, because people will say they love each other, want to be with each other. But I think, maybe counseling might play a huge part in there. Did you ever see red flags before the marriage came to an end?
Hell to the yeah. I saw it the day before I got married. And I'm going to tell you, I'll be very honest. The reason why I got married, and I'm going to be real with all of y'all. The reason I got married, because some of my family members in particular didn't think I could get married. And I was like, I'm going to show all y'all sons of bitches that I can get married.
See, trying to show folks.
Yeah.
Well, but you've known me for a long time, Art, so you know how I am. But and the thing about it, my ex-husband, I saw the red flags, and I told him before we got married. I said, "Listen, now you didn't marry no boogaboo. You married a strong woman here. Now you gonna have to get some counseling. We're not gonna make it." He was like, "Oh, baby, we're spiritually connected," because we went to the same church, right? All right, like the two of us,
right?
So he was like, "We gonna make it work." Let me tell you, it didn't work, and a lot of things didn't work, but we ain't gonna go into that. I digress. But I saw the red flags, and I tried to ignore them, and the reason why I stayed in my marriage, because I had great role models in my parents. My parents were married for 47 years. They're gentlemen, they loved one another, and they showed that love consistently, unconditional love. They bestowed upon me and each other. So that's what for me, my next relationship, I have to see that individual have, because when I love hard and I love deep. And I look for that unconditional love. But to answer your question, Art, yeah, I saw the signs. I chose to ignore them. Again, we talk about choice. I made the choice, and unfortunately, I paid the price. But in looking back, if I had that same scenario again, and I said to the gentleman again, my ex-husband, if we don't do this, we can't get married. And I should have acted upon that, because it would have saved me a lot of heartache down the road.
Let me ask you, Kay, do you think counseling beforehand would have solved your issues, or was it the wrong person?
A little bit of both. We weren't equally yoked. And see, I didn't get that then. I understand it now. We were not equally yoked. But counseling, I think I will say this, Chris, it helped me during the issues that I had to go through, and after that, right? Because at the end of the day, because I've shared this on this platform, I was abused physically, emotionally, and financially in that relationship. It's unfortunate. It happened. I have forgiven him, because forgiveness really is a gift you give yourself. I asked for him, but I shared this with her about birthdays. His birthday was 11/14, is the time I was born. See, there was a reason why we were together. There was a reason why we stayed together, and I understand that, and I'm okay. And I'll give him it because of him, honestly, that I discovered my passion for writing. So I thank him for that. There was a reason why we were together, but thank the Lord that we're at our separate. I wish him well.
Yeah, and that inspired that wonderful poem that you shared with me, that miserable son of a bitch. But anyway, I want to know, moving forward, what do you
By the way, before we move forward, let me say this. I too, Kay Renee, believe in loving hard and deep.
Is there any other way? I mean, it's something real and something true. Can you give it less than 100% and expect it to work? If it's real, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's either you're doing it or you're not doing it. There is no, well, I'm giving 80 to 90%, and that should be good enough. And a lot of people turn survival tactics from a previous relationship into a lifestyle, and they realize real quick that, I wonder why this doesn't work. Well, it worked when you were in a bad situation, but now that you're in something real, that's not going to work. You have to be all in. And if you're not mentally, emotionally stable or prepared enough to be all in, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. You're not ready. And for me personally, as someone who's dated my whole adult life, I get with a lot of people who are not aware of their status emotionally, and then they get into a relationship, and when they find that they are not willing to open themselves up when things get real, then they want to say, well, be patient with me and work with me and do this. So you're asking someone to give and give and give and give, when the reality is you shouldn't have gotten into a relationship if you knew you weren't willing to go all the way. Or when you first started dating somebody, you need to be honest and say, hey, should this happen to get serious, I'm emotionally challenged because of previous experiences to be 100% with you. And I find my personal experience, when it gets to that point and you finally break it down to what the real issue is, then the other person always wants to say, well, work with me. And it's like, well, I'm all the way in now. You know what I'm saying? It's been 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years. And now you're telling me that you're incapable of moving beyond your threshold, but you knew you had a threshold, and I think a lot of people are used to getting away with it because it works in certain situations, or it works if you're not really serious. And again, that survival tactic becomes a lifestyle. But then when you get into something real and you try to survive, then the other person is looking at you like, you realize, I see that you're holding back, right? The person who wasn't taking you seriously, they didn't notice you were holding back, but the serious person notices that you're holding back. And, it's like pulling the curtain, on the wizard. Like you realize I can see you, right?
Right.
You're not fooling me.
Exactly.
Your survival tactic looks exactly like a survival tactic. And they're trying to compensate for not being who they're supposed to be with sex, with food, with everything, right? It's like, well, I give you so many things. It's like, yeah, but you don't give me the thing that you're supposed to be giving me, the most important thing, which is all of you.
Exactly.
And that's how it falls away. And it's sad because I've walked away from a couple of people and their response was, oh, see, Chris wasn't serious. See how he walked away. But they don't talk about what I walked away from.
Right. Right.
You know, and that's when that narrative comes out. Oh, well, he just tried to use me, or I just couldn't satisfy him, or, you know what I'm saying? Nobody takes that onus on to go, you know what? I'm damaged. And the irony to the whole thing is, if you're with somebody who truly loves you, they're going to love you through the damage, but you have to be honest that that's where you are, you know, and most people aren't willing to accept themselves.
The best thing I think that ever happened in any particular relationship is when both people sit down and admit to being damaged. Everybody wants to act like they are so damn perfect, no issue, no complaint. Can you meet mine? Can you this? Can you that? You got to be on this level. Matter of fact, two damaged people can actually become whole and complete if they work together to become whole and complete.
You can bond through pain.
You can bond through pain.
But you know what you need, Art? Trust.
Right.
Yes.
I got to trust you with my damage and trust me with your damage, and we can move forward together. But if the other person isn't willing to do that, and secondly, if the other person isn't willing to admit, okay, you know what, I'm damaged, and me being damaged, me being protective, you're going to hurt the other person, right? Because you're out for self. You're not out for them.
Right.
And a lot of people can't admit, or they're so used to how they get down. They're like, what do you mean what I do is wrong? Because psychologically, well, what I'm doing is fine because it protects me. But they ignore, well, if you're protecting yourself, you're ignoring the other side. And then they ignore that. And it's like, well, how do you work with somebody who can't admit where they are and what they do?
Well, now I'm going to tell you the funniest thing. The year of the isolation, the year of the economy, when it comes to this, I want to be more open, more receptive, more looking for something different, something unique, because I don't ever think I could go through another pandemic by myself again. And again, we talking about whether you are a person who just enjoys booty calls, whether you are a person who has not dated in a long time, whatever the case may be, do you want to ever find yourself in a situation of weathering a storm by yourself? And that's what gave me the idea of, listen, I want to now find me somebody that we can weather things together. And so, you know, and I think that's what that is. Now, K. Renee, I noticed you kind of got a look. You okay with what I just said, or how you feel about that?
Well, you know, I would love to have someone to weather the storm with. Unfortunately, especially these last 8 years, I've had no one to weather the storm. And as you know, this month marks for me where I lost my heart and my dad 8 years. And so when that happened, I knew that I was going to be by myself. I had hoped I would be by myself, but I have been. And so honestly, you know, Chris, when you mentioned to be honest and to when you're damaged, that's the growth that I can see now with me going forward. I can acknowledge and admit, hey, there's some things that Karen A has to work on. And I'd rather be honest with you, but there has to be reciprocal. I just, I would love to have someone to weather the storm with. You know, being an only child, you become resilient. You become, you have that tough exterior, but deep down, you want to be able to just let loose. I just haven't had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Right. And again, you don't want to turn that survival tactic, right, that you developed over the last 8 years of, okay, I'm by myself, let me get myself mentally prepared. I don't think enough people sit back and envision what it's like to be in a happy relationship and how that makes you feel and how you need to act, right? We all anticipate, well, if I get a job, I'm going to do this and that and this. You know what I'm saying? We can envision all these other scenarios, how we would act. For me, it seems like, I'm not an expert, but it seems like people don't go, man, the next time I get in a real relationship, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be this, talking about what you're going to do instead of what you want to get.
Right. Yes.
You know, Chris, how are you going to take care of your next partner? And everybody's going, well, man, you know, if I have another partner, somebody can help me with these bills, somebody can shovel the snow, somebody, you know, I think too many people are looking for what they get and they don't focus on, well, if you're in a relationship with somebody, this is what you need to give emotionally, right? And physically.
Right. You know what, Chris, you really hit that nail right on the head about that, because I look at it like this. I who have nothing only have myself to give. And in a relationship, it's not about materialistic things. I'm not trying to pay your bills. I'm not trying to do any of those things. But how can we best serve each other through reciprocity? What can I do to inspire you, motivate you, encourage you, to help you to be a better person, to continue to do what you need to do? And I said the next relationship that I was going to be in, I felt would be a relationship of reciprocity, because I feel when you do meet somebody, and it's not about being a gold digger and oh, so-and-so got so much money, or so-and-so sex is great, all of that. But how can we inspire and teach and grow together? And I really do feel a great relationship changes the entire trajectory of who you are and what you want to do for the future. That's why, K. Renee, when you said earlier, what is my new future, my new birthday? I told you, I think a great relationship will inspire me to move in a different direction.
Very poignant to say that.
Yeah. And I think it brings your mind peace to allow yourself to go out and aspire to be more, because this gaping hole that some people pretend isn't there, but you're by yourself when you're by yourself, right? So there is a hole there. You're not dealing with any nonsense, but there are some lonely nights. There are some times where it would be nice to spend with somebody, and you are dealing with that. Whether you're coping with it, unless you're a true hermit and introvert, it does affect you. But when you have that void filled, it makes you want to do more. It makes you want to accomplish something. It's somebody in your corner to pick you up. It's some extra motivation. You know what I'm saying? The right person provides all the right things that give you an extra spark. And like you said, Art, if you get somebody younger, or not necessarily younger, but somebody with personality and with energy, and is again, to pick you up when you're down, or to give you that extra boost when you don't have it, I think that's significant to have somebody in your life, be it a significant other or a friend. If you have someone who motivates you, who inspires you, you know, a muse to a certain degree, it's a good thing. And if you happen to be romantically involved with them and your heart's in it, as well as friendship, well, I think that just, you know, magnifies the effect.
I agree with you 100%. K. Renee, questions, concerns, two black men that's able to tell you about love matters. This done turned into your birthday show, right? I just love talking about relationships. I just do. I love talking about relationships. I do. Yeah.
They're nice when they work. They're really nice when they work.
Exactly. That's right. They're really nice when they work. And a lot of people don't want to believe that. Work. Yeah, but a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people don't believe that a good, loving, healthy relationship, if it's good, it really does do a lot. It releases endorphins, serotonin. I mean, it makes you feel great. So, K. Renee, what were you gonna say?
No, I definitely agree with both of you, because when you're with a like-minded individual that really wants you to be the best and you want him or her to be the best, it makes great you sleep well at night, right? And as Chris said, you have peace. For me personally, you know, I would love that. I mean, I'm the type of person where I'm a giver, but I've noticed, I will say this, during this pandemic, is I am also an extrovert. You know, it's definitely changed my landscape in that I've been a little bit more introverted, being isolated and being here. But and that's why I make a conscious effort with my sister tribe to make sure I check up on them, they check up on me, and it makes that interaction better. But of course, if I were someone that I can banter with intellectually that happens to be in the opposite sex, I enjoy that. My priority right now, not focused on that, because as you may not know, Chris, but Art knows, dealing with this issue with my house, that's been a major thing these last few months for me. So that's been my priority. But, I teased yesterday about, this is cuddling season. Yeah, I would like to have some cuddling. And just company, but I don't know whether or not that's going to happen anytime soon. So, I just take things right now for me one day at a time.
Cuddling is good. Cuddling with someone you actually like is good.
Right.
Cuddling in prison is not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Speaking of cuddling in prison, did you all hear the story? I digress a little bit about the two cellmates where the one cellmate attacked the other because he passed gas too much and he thought that his bathroom habits, he went to the bathroom too much. This was on the news. This was a story that was recently on the news. Two prisoners, the one prisoner beat the other one up pretty bad because he said that he farted too much and he went to the bathroom too much. And the prisoner who went to the bathroom too much was actually cleaning the toilet when the other prisoner knocked him out. This was in the news. This was truly in the news.
Oh,
yep, I heard it on one of the radio stations and I looked it up and it really was. So, we kind of had this conversation, Kay Renee, about the passing gas. And I found that most women will not pass gas in front of their man. Chris, nope. Not to be too graphic, but how does the passing gas thing work? How does it work with you?
You mean, am I offended if a woman passes? I mean, it's a natural bodily function. I mean, for someone to, and I get most women don't like to spit in front of a man. They don't want to use number two in front of a man. I get it. And I mean, I appreciate having the class to feel that way, but it's a bodily function. It's gonna happen sooner or later. If you spend all your time with somebody, you're gonna experience it. And if it's to a great degree,
this is the thing, though, Chris. I will share this with you. I shared this with Art. When I was married, I didn't do that. I mean, literally, I would go to the restroom and take care of my business. I would not. And we were married for 10 years. Now, of course, he did what the hell he wanted to do. And I always give him this look like, what the hell is your problem?
He probably looked at you like, hey, this is freedom. You should try it. This is freedom. You should try it.
But this is
I appreciate, and I've dealt with women like that, and I have much respect. But at the same time, don't kill. And I would say all the time, don't kill yourself. I'm not going to judge you harshly for being human. You're human. Right, it's a thing. It's not rude. If you have to go, you have to go.
I think it's the way it's communicated. Because see, when I was a little girl, my mom taught me to be a proper lady. So ladies don't do that. And of course, that it was in my brain all the way up until adulthood. But if my partner would say, "Hey, listen, Karen, this is natural. It won't offend me. If you have to, it's okay." I think I would probably be a little bit more easier to flatulate, but to this day I don't do that. It's just a habit. What can I tell you?
I mean, hey, some things are ingrained. Some things, I know some women that cannot use the bathroom in public places. They just can't do it. They refuse to do it. They will break themselves to get back home or get to a safe space to do it. So I mean, I get it, but I try to make people feel comfortable that I know you were raised that way. I'm not going to judge you harshly for something that's human.
Well, now the funniest thing is that I started my current relationship situation right before my hernia happened. Okay, so keep that in mind that this current relationship started 7 days before the hernia situation. Well, one of the things with the hernia situation, in my case, is that you got to do that. And we have not necessarily been apart from each other since then. And so we were laughing, talking to somebody the other night about it. And I said, well, if we had to grade our level of letting it rip in front of each other, we've been together 10 years now. We 10 years in. Letting it rip in front of each other, we 10 years in. As a matter of fact, we grade them now. We grade. Look, I hear all the time like, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one, babe. You gonna make the doctors and nurses proud. That was a good one. So that's why, because I've talked to women on so many different levels that was like, oh no, I could never pass gas. Or I talked to a very notable older lady, about it. She was like, oh no, she even said that if she got married again now, that it would have to, separate bathrooms, just all of that. And I was just like, wow, that's interesting that I guess women think that way versus, with guys, we like, let this mess rip, Yeah,
I'm sure there are some guys that feel that way. But I mean, when you get in a relationship with another human being, if you're not open, it ain't real. It's just not real. If you don't feel comfortable enough to be who you are, because I'm sure that these people who feel so apprehensive about it, they do it when they're by themselves. So if you can't be as comfortable with your other half as you are by yourself, to me, it's not real, because on some level you're holding something back, and you can't be real and hold back at the same time.
Right. I agree on that 100%. All right, so let's do our next and final question for the evening. This has been a lot of fun. We're going to have to do this again. Kay Renee, we'll let you as a lady go ahead with our last question of the night.
If you had your druthers, what would you consider, the two of you consider, a perfect or a beautiful date? What would you consider a beautiful date?
Chris, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, I'll go first. A beautiful date, a beautiful time is a conversation for me. It really doesn't matter how good the setting is, how good the food is, how good the concert was. Because you figure a concert, a movie, anything that you're watching, you're not really interacting with the person next to you, right? You're into the movie, the show, the concert, whatever. But when it's done, just like when sex is done, when the dinner is done, when whatever's done, you got to be able to talk about it. You got to be able to have a good conversation. And a good conversation never gets old, especially with someone, not only the good conversation, but with someone you have chemistry with, right? So now good conversation is good conversation, but to have chemistry with that person as well, and to be able to bring some emotion into it, now it's just a win-win-win. Because if you don't have that, it could be a beautiful meal, but if the conversation was horrible, it's a beautiful concert, but the conversation was horrible. It could be the greatest sex, but the conversation after it was horrible. You know what I mean? So the conversation for me is the ultimate.
I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. And I mean, I love when basic conversation branches off into a lot of different things. My biggest pet peeve is to talk to someone and they have limited conversation. They don't know how to express themselves. Yeah, no. I love someone that can express themselves. I tell people when I'm first in a relationship, I'm a snitch starter. I'm going to start some snit just to see how defensive you are, how you navigate your way through it, what are your best answers. And once I figure that you can navigate a conversation, that is the biggest turn on to me. Because here's the deal. I've done everything. I've been around the world. I've eaten at the best restaurants, gone to the best concerts, all of that. It's the small, simple things that turn me on more than anything. It's really things that don't even cost you that much. If you went and picked up a pizza, a bottle of wine, and brought some flowers, that is so much deeper to me then we go someplace and the steak is $85, $100. Yeah, all of that, been there, done that. I think there's a time and place for all of that. But I'm with you, Chris. Stimulating conversation wins my heart every time.
I couldn't agree with both of you more, because I love that banter to communicate. And if you're not able to communicate with me, then we're gonna have a problem. Because to me, the most erotic organ is where, gentlemen? Between the ears.
Between my belly button and my kneecaps. Oh no. Between my belly button and my kneecap. Look, I actually think my hernia surgery kind of affected me. I was like, wait a minute now, but it's coming back. Yeah, that anesthesia, I was like, wait a minute now, my stuff feel like rubber. Yeah, so, right. But no, the biggest stimulant organ is your brain. It really is. Yes, absolutely. Oh boy, here's a great one. Nothing like mental intercourse. Yes, mental intercourse.
Yes,
love it. Conversation is the ultimate foreplay.
Yes, it is.
If your partner's conversation doesn't get you excited, you with the wrong person.
Yeah. Okay. So Ursula said, that's correct. Right. Leave the room if you can, but sometimes you might cough or laugh, whoop out. So she talking about the passing gas thing.
Yeah. Hey. And again, and you know what? And this goes to the other side.
Excuse me, keep it moving.
Yeah, you can feel a certain way about it, but if your partner has a sense of humor about it, that should loosen you up to not take it so seriously. Right. If your partner can smile on it, right. But and sometimes people can be too much of a prude and make situations uncomfortable. Where and I don't think a lot of people realize if you're going through that much in front of me, it's showing how comfortable you are with me. And it's letting me know you're just not that comfortable with me. You're comfortable with yourself, obviously, but you're not that comfortable with me. And that could put a strain on some things.
Yes, Scorpio Love said it better. Nothing like brain on brain sex. And I agree. I
agree. The brain juices mixing.
Yep, yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think a lot of us are over sexualized. I think that might be the biggest. We live in a world now where, you know, if you can't flip it, beat it, rub it, snatch it, all of that. Mm-hmm. How do I care for you? I care for you physically, mentally, and spiritually. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's the missing piece with a lot of relationships. A lot of people have been physically loved, but have you been mentally and spiritually loved in the right way? That's what you've got to look at and ask yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Renee, let me ask you, what is the most important thing you can give another human being?
Me, my authentic self.
Get more specific. Get more specific.
Okay.
Or simplify that. What's the most important thing you can give another human being? That? Yeah, what's the most important thing you can give another human being?
Unconditional love. And that's something that
simplify
I learned.
Simplify that. But simplify that. What's the most important thing you can give another human being? And I'm talking not necessarily romantic, but what's the most important thing you can give another human being?
My honesty.
But simplify it even more.
What do you think? Just being authentic and being who I am, being true to who Karen is, not having to play any games, being who I am. Whether
you're on the right track.
Let me say this.
Not playing.
Wait, what, Karen? Go ahead.
No, I said not playing any games with people, just being honest and being who I am and being authentic.
Right. No, I agree with that, but simplify it. Simplify that. But in a conversation with somebody you barely know, what's the most important thing that you can give that person?
I'm going to say this, time is the most, to me.
Time or attention. You give someone your undivided attention.
And being present, and being present with them.
Exactly. And so many people lose that. Right. And, it's said, for the person that you love not to give you their undivided attention is similar to physical pain.
I agree.
The most important thing you can do is pay attention to somebody and make them a priority in the conversation, in the moment, and in your life. And if you're not willing or able to do that, you shouldn't be there. As a friend or as a lover.
I agree.
And there's a lot of people who are incapable of doing that. And it's like you need to fall back because you're not ready for this. Yeah. Because the sexiest word
You're on point, Chris.
what's the sexiest word in the English language to every human being?
Time.
I love you.
Oh. Nope. What'd you say, Kay?
Time.
No. What's the sexiest word in the English language to every human being?
Love.
Word is love.
Their name.
To say their name.
To say their name. What do salesmen do when they're selling something, Art? Art, if I really want you to get to buy something from me, Art, I want to keep your attention. So, Art, as long as I keep saying your name, Art, you are going to pay attention to me, Art, whether you want to or not, because I keep saying that sexy word to you. I keep saying Art. And we can go to lovemaking and everything else. But if I'm saying your name, you're listening. I'm capturing you because that's the sexiest thing. And to give someone your attention, to pay attention to them, to give them their name, you got them. Now, the only question is the person doing it genuine?
Right.
But those are the requirements, right? As human beings, that's what we're drawn to.
Yes. That's the same way I hate to be in a relationship and someone refers to me as Chat Daddy. I hate that. If we're in an intimate personal, I hate that. I was with somebody.
Right.
I was with somebody who I just loved and adored. Everything was great, wonderful, all of that. We got in bed and was having relationships, and the person said, "Oh my God, I'm having sex with," and it turned me off.
Right. You're not here for me. You here for the persona.
That's like saying another woman, another man.
Right.
That's the
I'm like, that's a character. That's an image.
Right.
That's not who you dating. You know what I'm saying? And here's the funniest thing. I've gone to several doctors about that. Look, I asked them, should I take medicine for? They were like, no, that's a persona. That's who you are. I said, well, I'm sick of, people. I can't believe I'm in bed with. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, that's not what that's about. And that is my biggest pet peeve. That you would think, you in bed with the celebrity, as you would say. No, you in bed with an everyday human individual that has problems, troubles, ups, downs, whatever the case may be. And you need to learn from that, not, idolize that human being like that.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Chris, I want to say one more thing. How are we looking on time, Art? Can I ask one more question?
We good, because I want to hear your own.
When somebody does somebody wrong, right? You hurt their feelings one way or another, whether it's a deep violation or something shallow. A lot of people feel that, everything needs to be made up for, right? It's like homework, right? If you not do your homework all semester, you need to do some extra credit to catch up. Right. A lot of people feel that, well, I'm not doing it anymore. That should be good enough. And you know what? I liken that to slavery, right? It's like, well, we're not enslaving you anymore. So what are you mad at? It's like, well, you don't think you need to make up for it? You don't think you need to do anything? And I think a lot of people go on, well, I hurt you, and then I'm going to decide how much I need to do to make you feel better. I'm not going to let you decide for yourself when you feel better, right? And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. If you do somebody wrong, then you need to put in the work to make it right if you actually care. So I'm asking you guys' opinion. Do you agree that that's truly someone's display on how much they care, is how much they're willing to do to make up for what they did to you?
Oh, interesting. Wow.
they're saying the best apology is changed behavior, but you want to make sure the behavior is authentic, right?
Right.
To
Right.
say I apologize and you think you've changed, but in reality you haven't. That's not an apology. That's just trying to get away with. They say how to get away with murder. That's trying to get away with something. If you've
But
truly in the behavior what happened and you truly try to make it right because you care about that individual, and I think the other person can tell that you own, that you're being accountable. That makes it better for me. When a person can be accountable of their snit and be honest about it and then change the behavior because they care about you, I can deal with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But is it just the change behavior, or does making up for it some kind of way matter to you? Like, is it just, if someone was doing something, is it just enough for you for them to stop doing it, or do they need to show and prove, go a little harder to prove that they are truly remorseful for what they did?
And again, it depends upon the scenario. Now, if someone's cheating on you and you want that behavior to stop, right? And the individual is truly remorseful, yeah, I mean, if he's saying he stopped cheating but still doing other things, he hasn't been remorseful. That's a clear-cut example.
Right. And it goes back to making you the priority, right? It's like, so obviously if you were cheating, you were neglecting somebody. So the opposite of that would be,
right.
Again, making the most important thing you can give somebody is your time, energy, and effort.
Is your time and attention, right.
Yeah.
What's the old school saying? You're making me keep time.
Right. Yes.
And that was the sign, right? Hey, if somebody's giving you time, that's a sign.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree with you on that 100%. I just think, in this day and age, being able to be there for somebody, I don't care how old you are, you want to be nurtured. You want to grow. You want to do things that are in the right manner. I think that Black love has suffered tremendously. And I'll tell you why. People that I went to college with, people that I went to high school with, to me, they understood the dynamics of a relationship. They got married, they had children, they did whatever they needed to do to make their relationship work. We're the ones that oftentimes, I feel sorry for the number of Black women I know that don't have a man. I feel sorry for the number of my Black straight and gay male friends that don't have anybody. Not that I'm pitying anybody, but I just think it's so sad that we are so unequally yoked when it comes to the dynamics of relationships.
I agree.
No. Yeah, and it speaks a lot to, especially with social media, there's so many distractions. I think in the current construct, it's even more important to give someone your time with all of the distractions that exist, right? With your social media, with Netflix, with social media, with streaming services. If somebody is willing to pause all of that and give you time, that means a lot. I think it means more now than it did before, where people were calling, you only had 2, 5, 7, 9, and 32. So to turn the TV off and call somebody didn't mean that much because you didn't have anything else to do. But now with so much else to do, online dating and Netflix and chill, and again, social media and movies and streaming and Fire Stick, there's 1,000 things you can do with your time. If you choose to give that time to somebody, especially today, that means something. And I think a lot of people don't reciprocate it and understand the person, sweating you and trying to spend time with you. They may not be your first choice, but they want to actually genuinely be with you. So, if you're dismissing them, I think a lot of people need to understand really why are you dismissing you? Why are you dismissing that person? And I think to get back to the point you asked earlier, Art, about COVID, I'm sure during COVID, a lot of people had to reevaluate their priorities and go, you know what? I kind of dissed that person, but it wouldn't have been bad to have them around. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they weren't so bad. I think history will dictate, and it'll tell the stories of how many people reevaluated their priorities and did some self introspection, came out of COVID lockdown. Like, you know what? Yeah, I got a better handle on what the priority is.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when it's all said and done, it's who you curled up on the couch with at the end of the day.
Amen. And speaking of, it's about that time for me to get on off of here, right? Hey, I
mean, did somebody just tap you like, hey, that's enough. You've given the public enough time. It's time to give me some time.
It's my time now.
Pretty much. As you see, I be ending these. Look, as you see, I be ending these shows on time now. You see what I'm saying? I used to be like, hell, we can sit here all night and talk. Right. Look, I'll be right back. Let me go get another drink. Right now, it's like.
And you know what? Let me say this real quick. I think a lot of people need to realize when you're single, you got all this time, but once you get somebody, you had time to fit all this in. But now you got somebody, you need to cut that at least in half. You don't have that time anymore.
That's right.
Because now you got somebody else who you got to give that time to. I think a lot of people don't realize that because they figure, cool, I got somebody now and I can still do everything I was doing before. It's like, no, you can't.
Absolutely not.
Because now that void needs to be filled with your person.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, in my particular situation, I was like, well, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I only want to date somebody Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when I'm not working in business, and look, that went out the window. That went out the window after.
Right. No, we're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah, we're not doing
You're
that.
You're gonna be here whether you like it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, oh my God, this is so interesting to say the least. It really is. Well, my friends, I just want to say I love both of you. I appreciate you. Chris, I knew, you would help make this a great conversation.
Uh-oh. The audio. Oh my God.
Well,
did Art start his birthday?
Well,
look at that. Getting the birthday links in. Go Art. It's your birthday. Go Art.
It's your birthday.
Go Chat Daddy. It's your birthday.
Wait. I think I think you might be controlling my Wi-Fi now. I think you might be controlling my Wi-Fi. Right. Look,
significant other unplug your whole Jimmo. Like, you're about to get this birthday present, whether you want to or not. It's going down.
I think they just was like, get your ass off that show. Right. Yeah, you done did enough.
Come on, this whipped cream is not gonna stay firm all night.
Right.
Yes,
right. You need to be grabbing the damn ceiling fan. Come grab this ceiling fan. Right. I love you both. This has been a great show. Wonderful, wonderful show. For those of you all, make sure you tune in. Tonight is our last show for this week because I got things all this week celebrating my birthday. We'll be back next week, Monday and Tuesday night, to help get you guys into the Thanksgiving mood. We have some great guests, great Thanksgiving ideas, all of that. Thank you all so very much tonight. Chris, K. Renee, both of you, I just love you both. This has been a lot of fun. Before my internet gets turned off again, let me kind of say goodbye because I think that's what it is. I think manipulation turned that internet off. So, K. Renee, do you have a Karen's nuggets of knowledge you can give us before we run tonight? Hold tight, Chris.
I know. Right. It's very simple. It's responsibility finds a way. Irresponsibility makes excuses. This is live your True Tuesday, # be responsible for your life.
Oh, I love that. I do. That's a great thing. Brother, anything you want to say tonight before we get out of here?
Man, it's hard to come behind that. Wow, Kate just dropped the bomb.
Right.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna instead of trying to outdo her, I will piggyback and say, live in your truth and be accountable for you. Don't worry about the other person. Be accountable for you.
I love that. I do.
I
think that's really
brother.
Yes.
My dolphin brother.
Is this the dolphin symbol? I always do this, for the fin. This is the best I got. I don't know if it goes this way. The dolphin.
You know what? Right. You dolphins. I'm friends with all you dolphins. I really do.
That's right. Don't forget.
I love you all. I love it. Look, and now that they done tore my high school down, I really am gonna have to. Right.
You know you're an honorary dolphin.
I know that's right. I know. I love it. Thank you, Tamlin. I appreciate you again. Thank you, Joseph. We appreciate you as well too. Wamelda, Scorpio Love, Gloria. Who else did we have on here tonight with us? Thank you guys.
Ursula. Oh, hey, throw a shout out to my boy Doug Moody.
That's what I was going to say. I was just going to give Doug Moody a big shout out.
Hello, yeah, that's my guy.
Jacqueline, we appreciate you. Valerie Hollins, hey, Therese, we love you. Booker T, we appreciate everybody. You guys have made my birthday just absolutely fabulous. I definitely cannot return all of the messages and things that I got. I appreciate y'all. My phone has been ringing since 1 a.m. this morning, buzzing, ringing, all of that. And I was told I couldn't get out of the bed till 9 o'clock this morning. So, I was like, oh my God, my poor phone. Leslie Saunders. Oh, I miss you, Leslie. Leslie and I were flight attendants together. I appreciate you. Thank you, Leslie. Douglas just said, great show. Please subscribe to the show, YouTube, Facebook. I appreciate you guys. Jacqueline Moody, yay. She said Team Scorpio. That's right. We love you. Scorpio Love says, show Chat Daddy some love. Cash App. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful night. Brother Chris, it's going to be cocktail time soon, and we may have to drag Miss Renee with us and get her some Baileys, her favorite sipping place.
Well, I mean, if I got a drink, I got a drink. I mean,
you and me both, brother. If I got the drink,
wrong with that.
Right, I got to go grab a ceiling fan in a minute.
This is
peach
Moscato. This is peach Moscato. So
very good, very good. Well, God bless you both, and I'll see you later. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys again next Monday night.
All right.
We appreciate you guys. Peace out. Let me sign us out of here so we can get out of here. Good night, brother. I'll talk to you later. And we're out.
Okay, for sure.
All right. Bye. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show.